Okay, so today we're going to be going over editing and just some basic tools related to Esri editing. And one of the first things we're going to go over is how do we actually make points, lines, and polygons on the map. And we're going to start off simply with points, moving towards lines, and then moving into polygons. So over here on ArcPro, if you're not familiar with the editing on ArcPro, you're going to come over here to the Edit tab. This will allow you to have everything that you need, including snapping, if you want to snap, or going into creating, modifying, selecting, and then all these lovely tools that come down right through here, which we will be going on in later clips. So let's talk about creating a feature. If you don't already have it open, you want to get the Create tab, which is this right here, which shows you all the features that you can edit. If you don't have this tab, you want to click this button right here and it will pop up the window. Mine is docked. A lot of times you will see it like this. You can just click, drag it, and dock it right in there. And bada bing, bada boom, it's out of your way. And you don't have to worry about it. On this tells you everything that's editable. So everything that you can change, modify, or do whatever you want to do with. If there is a layer that you are concerned that you don't want to have edited because, we need to keep this, we need to not touch this, then what you want to do is come over here to this pencil, list by editing. And right here you see these lovely checkboxes and you can check this off. And as you check them off, you notice that it leaves the create features list because this is no longer allowed to be editable. Like, you can't edit this anymore. And you can check it back on for editing purposes. Now you'll notice this right here. This is saying that because I'm using the Esri base maps, you cannot edit an Esri base map. So it's saying, yeah, there's a layer here, but I'm sorry, you can't check it on off for editing because it's already off for editing. So there's that. So let's talk into making points. So I've selected this place in Connecticut, and it's a rural area, and it gives us the ability to do points, lines, and polygons, and it's kind of spread out so we can really dive into various things here. So let's map out these houses in this area right here. We have all these nice houses. How do we map these out if we want to have the houses here? So one things that you can do is, what I recommend is you want to zoom in. The better picture you have, the better the quality that you'll see on the ground and the better editing you will be able to do. So to digitize these houses that are right here, to get them on the map, you go ahead and click on your points. This will activate the points tool, and from here you can create a point feature. You can get point at the end of a line, so if you need to do that. And then over here you're going to get points along the line. We're going to be going over a lot of these other tools in later episodes and more advanced sessions. Right now we just want to make basic points. So to do this, we click it, we make sure we have our point clicked, then we come over here and we just click. As you can see, it's selected, and that just means that that's the one you did. And then you just come over here and click again. Then you click again, and then you click again. And we just added 4 points to our map. Now if we come over back to our list by drawing layers, we edit this, we open the attribute table, you will notice that there are 4 points added to the attribute table. So here's where it becomes a little tricky. Let's say you added a point right over, let's find another house right here. And you're like, oh no, I messed up. What am I supposed to do to fix this? Do not worry. There are tools that allow you to do this. And that tool would be the Move tool. The Move tool allows you to move the point anywhere on the map that you want it to move. So we can take this and then we can take it and move it right on top of the house. And then you can right click on that. And you come over here and we do the finish sketch, and bada bing bada boom, our point is now moved. We didn't have to worry about it. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, okay, I don't have anything selected. How do I do it if I don't have anything selected? This is super easy. Just come over here to select, and you can go ahead and click select, and then draw a nice little box around it, and you can select the point, and then go ahead and use your move tool to move it around. Under select, you have a whole bunch of different things that you can choose from if you want to be more freeform or what. For the most part, we'll be using rectangle, but don't be afraid to use polygon, lasso, circle, line, or trace if that's something that you need. Do not be hesitant to use any of those. They are very useful in different situations. Okay, moving on to the next complex feature, a line. So a line is made up of a bunch of different vertices where those vertices are changes in, could be direction, or you want to put a node in there to have for a spur off, or you just want to have the line not be so long. So in order to do this, we want to come over here back to our create features window right here, and we're going to go ahead and click our line. And let's go ahead and figure out how to do Terrace Drive, and then let's go ahead and do Brookside Drive right here. Now if you notice, there's a bunch of different things on the line where you can do right angles, where you can do splits, where you can do radials, you can even do arcs and other things with this. Again, a lot of this will be done in later episodes. This is just basic editing, okay? So stay tuned for other videos on basic editing. So right here, let's talk about Terrace Drive. So to make a line, you just click at your start location, and then you come down to your end location right here. You can click, right click, and you can say finish, because this is the end of the line right here. Now Brookside Drive is much more difficult because it has this lovely curve in. So how do we get this curve and this to match? Now because this is a row, we also want to make sure that Brookside Drive intersects with Terrace Drive. And as you notice, there's this little window coming up saying edit lines endpoint. That's telling me that there is an endpoint right there that we can snap to. So we don't have to worry about, are we intersecting with it? Are we connected to it? Esri will actually figure that out for us, allowing us the ability to just have to go next to it, and it will find that endpoint, and we can be snapped right into it, and we'll know for a fact whether or not it is there or not. This works for points, this works for lines, this works for polygons. So to do this, we're going to start over here at this end of Brookside Drive, and we're going to come down. This is a pretty good straightaway, so we don't have to worry. Let's go ahead and connect our to our Terrace Drive, and do this. We're going to snap to Terrace Drive. We're going to go ahead and click once. That'll add a vertice right there, and then we can continue on. Now we're coming into a curve. I like to try and make some smooth curves, but depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you don't have to go too crazy with this. But making multiple clicks, you can create multiple vertices and bring it right around the corner and right up, right down. And the more vertices you make, the better the arc will look. Now again, there are tools that can put the arcs in for you, but right now this is just basic editing. And so what I like to do is I like to say, okay, so this is a pretty good straightaway. We've got a little bit of a bend right here. Let's go ahead and just keep the straightaway one part. Reevaluate at the end of the map. I don't like to get too far away if I can avoid it. And then we come over here, and we just add in our little nodes, our little vertices right in here. And now we're coming right out to a street right there. And now instead of right clicking, if you double click, that will also finish your sketch as well. Now look at that, we got a nice thing here. But as some of you notice, this is a little rough around here. So one of the things that you can do, let's go over move real quick. Move with a line is a lot different than move with a point. When you move a line, you're actually moving the entire line versus moving any one of the endpoints or starting points on the line. So if I hit move on this, I'm physically moving the line, but I can't reshape the line. So if I wanted to match Sunset Drive, I couldn't do that because it's just moving it up, down, vertically, everything else like this. The geometry stays the same. Now, how do we get this line to match Sunset Drive, specifically coming around this curve, if we drew the line incorrectly? Well, one of the really nice tools we have here is edit the vertices, which you can use these for lines and polygons. So you can click on the edit vertices and you notice you get green and red parts. Green is where you've started and where you've been, red is where you've ended. So you always have one red, you will have multiple green. You want to see multiple green because that's really good to have. So let's say we wanted to put this curve in on Sunset, right? So one of the things we can do is with this, we could take this and we can move the geometry right onto Sunset Hill Road. And we're going to go ahead and put this right over here, right at the end of Sunset Hill Road. But now we have this problem because we have all of these, like the road is not going through this person's property. It's going around. So how do we fix this? Well, down here in our lovely toolbar, we have add. This allows us to add vertices to any line segment that we have, as long as it's already been selected. So we can actually click this. As you see, a nice green dot showed up right here, and we can click it, and then we can drag the geometry right to where we want it. See how that works? Look at that. That's gorgeous right there. We just put it right in, and we can put it right in. So then all we have to do is, if we want to make that curve look nice, we can put in more nodes and just gently wrap it around the road, just like that. Now, one of the things that should be noted here is that, yes, we're moving the geometries and we're getting them all lined up. But let's say we have a geometry that's way out here. Obviously, we wouldn't have it, but we're just saying that there's a vertex that we don't want anymore because it messes with the shape of the line. Well, we don't have to worry about that either because we can use our minus. Right here, our little minus is called delete. We can delete a vertex right there, and it will bring the line back down to where it's supposed to be. So if you're feeling that you have vertices that aren't any good, that you really can't have, that you really don't want to use, you can delete them. Do not stress about it. Deleting is always okay to have. All right, so now that we have this and we're good and we like the way it is, we can take it and we can hit finish, and there is our line. We can hit clear, and boom, we have a nice beautiful line. So in summary, so far we've done points and we've done lines. Now let's look at a polygon, and to do that really well, we're going to go ahead and use some nice farmland over here. Specifically, we're going to use these two fields right here. So a polygon is not only a line, is not only made up of points and lines, but it also contains area, right? Because it's taking, a polygon has area to it. It's a shape, square, circle, triangle. It has area, it has defined area, it has defined perimeter. So working with polygons is just like working with points and lines. You start in one spot and you digitize it right around and as detailed as you can, given the level of aerial imagery you have. So right here we're going to say that this middle of the trees is the boundary, and we're going to say that these two are adjacent to each other. So what we'll do here is we're going to start up, well, just to make sure that we're perfectly adjacent, we'll take this and we'll start right up here to about where the top of the field is. We can kind of bend it a little bit, find out where it is. Okay, we like that. And as you can see, our polygon is starting to be formed and taking the shape of our field. Again, we're coming up to a corner, so we're going to add multiple clicks in. The more you do, the nicer the curve will show up. You'll come down right through here, bend it nicely around the curve, just like this, and we're moving down the map nice and easily, moving through, coming right across here, come down. And when you're first doing your editing, it's okay if you make some mistakes. I've noticed some mistakes in this that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I might go back and delete some vertices. That's perfectly okay. Like, you're just trying to get the basic shape down. I always say it's always better to get the basic shape down and go back and clean up what you need to clean up than to try and force the actual shape all at once. Because every once in a while, you know, it's just not going to work out for you. Like right here, we have this. I don't really like how that looks. So what we can do is we can come into editing and we can edit the vertices. And, you know, it's kind of like both of these that I really don't like. And so I can come in here and I can delete them. And I can say, okay, let me see what that looks like now. And we can take it and we can finish it. Okay, I like that a lot better. It's a little bit straighter. It's a little bit nicer. That looks nice. That's good. So now we want to do this adjacent field. This is where your snapping is really going to be useful, because we can come in here, make or edit the polygons, and we can come, you can start wherever you want, but you see how we're like snapping to vertices right there. We can click on a vertice, come down, click, and that's snapped. I know that that line is abutted, 100% abutted against that other piece of that other farmland right there. And then I can come over here and I can snap it to this too. Now I know that those are conjoined, like they're right next to each other. Take this, follow it up, and then we'll right click and we'll do finish. And now if you hit clear, you can see that is two very nice synonymous fields. So one of the things that you're going to run into is when you're making polygons, you might notice that, hey, I made a polygon, but it no longer really jives. Like, you accidentally made two polygons instead of making one where it should have been one. So one of the things that you can do is you can come in here and you can select both polygons. And you can use this merge. This merge is different than the geoprocessing merge. The geoprocessing merge will take two different shapefiles and bring them together. This will take two records and bring them as one. So to do this so you can see how the merge works, we're going to bring up the attribute table and we're going to zoom out a bit here so you can see how this works. And actually, you know what? We can do this. There we go. So as you can see, we have the one parcel here highlighted by number 2, and then we have the other parcel here highlighted as number 1. So if we take both of them and we come up here and do merge, the merge screen will come up. And it's going to say, oh, do you have any attributes that you want to take with it? There's no attributes in here. We will be going over advanced merging with attributes in another area, but it basically is going to tell you what attributes from which one do you want to keep. Do you want to keep the attributes from number 1, or do you want to keep the attributes from number 2? So it's just going to ask you which one you want to keep. Right now we're going to be preserving no attributes because it's just one thing, and we're going to be merging this in to an existing feature. Right here, we're not to a new feature, but to an existing feature, and we go ahead and merge it. And now we've taken those two polygons and we've brought them into one merge set. So you're probably telling yourself right now, whoa, that was really awesome. But what if you made a mistake and you need that polygon back? Well, you can use my other favorite tool with polygons, which is split. And split allows you to take a polygon and break it up into multiple parts. So in order to use the split, at least for this polygon, sometimes if you just wanted to bisect, you could just draw a line straight across. You could bisect it, and that's fine too. But let's say we wanted that field back. One of the best ways you can do this is don't be afraid to use your transparency and set it to something that, you can see your aerial imagery on the bottom as well as your polygon on the top. So for this, what we're going to do is leave it at 75% or 79.5% transparency. I think that's pretty good. We're going to come back to edit. We're going to go ahead and take our split. We'll zoom into our area that we want. We'll take it. We'll click where we want it. And we'll click right back on the vertex right there. And now we have two polygons back. And like I said, you don't have to be, digitizing something out perfectly like that. But what's important to know is you have to cross lines. If you just try to split this, it's going to tell you split failed because the geometry must intersect the polylines and the polygons in two or more places. So what they're saying is you have to bisect here, and then you can come back and bisect here, double click, and you can make another slice out. But you can't just do it in the middle of a polygon. Okay? You got it. You have to have intersections because it doesn't know where to split it. So that's all that I have for right now for basic editing. Stay tuned. There will be more on basic editing, going in depth on points, lines, and polygons and their different interactions with that. This is just to get you started on understanding what editing is and some of its capabilities on how to start digitizing for yourself.